What's up to Lion Talk Live? We love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aidan Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew. This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
All right, well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today, Monday morning, the day after the beat down south in Jerry's World. The Lions said, hey, maybe we should score 82 points for Jerry Jones' 82nd birthday. They nearly did it, and I thought maybe they should go for it, just out of spite and everything else. Lions sent a message to the entire NFL. We are for real. Hey, some of those early season struggles on offense, you can say what you want. They seem to be a thing of the past. Jared Goff looks like the second coming of Joe Montana out there slinging the rock all around. Detroit Lions defense looks like a wall that nobody, including Dak Prescott, can get past. And you know what? We kept them out of the end zone all day long. Turnovers were all over the place. Lions defense just taking the ball away, either peanut punching it out or just picking it off, no matter who was quarterbacking for them boys. But whatever it is, we can say this. As you're probably watching into this, you're watching and seeing the thumbnail for this video. Everybody wants to get an Aidan Hutchinson update, so we are going to get that to you once we get through the 5 headlines now and everything like that. All right, real quick, if you're new to the channel, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push for whatever it is, 8,300 subs, I think, and we're whatever we are away. Let me see, we are 26 subs away from hitting that. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. Also, hit that thumbs up button, the like button. As you guys know, we try to get every video to 200 to 300 or more thumbs up or likes. Real quick, if you're looking for something to read, go ahead and go over to Amazon.com or wherever you get your reading literature and order Kajora book, or at least consider doing it. It is a historical fictional novel based on Japanese and Native American cultures. It is the first in a 9-part series. The second book releases in 2025. Go check it out if you would be so kind. And if you like it, leave a great review. All right, without out of the way, we're going to try to speed through some of this because I'm sure everybody wants basically the update, the main topic of the day. So let's get into the first segment of the day. And that is, as you know, 5 headlines now. All right, 5 headlines now. Let's get into it. Tom Brady absolutely loves the Detroit Lions offense versus Dallas Cowboys. This is from Detroit Free Press, story by Jared Ramsey. And yes, it was hard to find anything wrong with the Lions' offensive performance yesterday. Hey, that was one of the best performances you could ever see. The Vikings had no answers. I mean, the Cowboys had no answers. Their defense. And say what you want. And, you know, if some knucklehead comes into this show today and says, hey, well, they were injured. Well, you know what? We got injuries too. And now we got even more injuries. That will be, I'm going to surmise, our 14th person on the injured reserve list this year. So I don't want to hear it from anybody about that today. Moderators, if somebody's in there just causing havoc, don't be afraid to put them in a little kid timeout. But at any rate, what Tom Brady did talk about, and if you guys watch the, whatever they call it on Fox, the OG or whatever, the after show, they do talk about it a lot. Lions just have so many different weapons. The one thing that coming into this season, people had questions about would be the number 3/4 receiver and all that. And all that thing's been put to rest. Tim Patrick is the real deal. A great addition by Brad Holmes, the Detroit Lions. You could see why. When the final 53-man cut day came, Lions were trying to trade for him on a conditional pick hours before the cut down happened. The Saints tried to acquire him as well. You can see why a lot of teams wanted to get this guy. You can also raise the question, why the heck did the Broncos get rid of that dude? Because Tim Patrick, man, he looks like he is just going to add another weapon. Laporta, Jameson Williams, St. Brown, Gibbs, Monty. I mean, Dan Skipper, Dan O'Damas got that one right. Dan O'Damas said Dan Skipper would line up as an X receiver, and yes, he did. So whatever it is, Tom Brady and the guys over at Fox talked about it exponentially. that the Lions just have so many weapons. It's going to make it hard for anybody to have sustained success stopping that offense. Unless you can get to Jared Goff on a consistent basis with that offensive line, that was probably their best performance. Glasgow, you've heard me talk about it. I thought the start of the year, he didn't look the greatest. He looks like he's becoming more comfortable in the left guard spot. And if that happens, man, you're going to have a hard time getting to Goff. All right, Detroit Lions, Sam Laporta scores a 52-yard flea flicker, a touchdown flea flicker. And we're going to go ahead and pull this up. I think I've got it queued up here. Most of you guys know I'm not the best at always doing this jazz. So, hey, just figured with some of the doom and gloom stuff yesterday, I figured why not celebrate, a little bit of something, a good time here. Just replay this because if you guys have ever heard me call games, whether it's a football bingo or whatever, I basically call it, hey, it could be a flea flicker here all the time. So almost every play, I want a flea flicker. And you know what? The Lions gave you a flea flicker yesterday. All right, Lions head coach Dan Campbell actively trolling Cowboys amid Week 6 beatdown. This is from fan side. The one real gripe I had about yesterday, and if you were watching the live cast, you did hear me talk about it, is when you got somebody beat down, it's one thing to keep scoring. It's another thing to kind of troll somebody. I thought whether it's on MCDC or Ben Johnson or whoever, end of the day, it's got to go to Dan Campbell because he is the head coach. Trying to throw one to Taylor Decker, okay, I probably get that. But now getting, Penei Sewell on a trick play when he got a huge lead, and now getting Dan Skipper out there as the X, I think at some point you risk retaliation from the other team. If not in that game, then in the future. That's why as a coach myself, hey, it's okay to beat somebody down. It's not okay to rub it in their face. I thought maybe they were going a little over the line there, but you know what? It is what it is, I guess. All right, Detroit Lions spoiled Jerry Jones' birthday, dominate the Cowboys at AT&T Stadium, SB Nation, story by Chris Halling. And yes, that was, if you guys can think of a bigger beatdown of them boys in their home field, let me know. Because Jake Bates was kicking field goals all over the place. By the way, we should probably put to rest any kind of thoughts about him maybe being questionable. Should we look to add in another kicker? This guy's been automatic from everywhere. I get we haven't hit the 70-yarder. That was actually the one thing I thought they would do towards the end of the game. But Dan Campbell probably did show a little bit of a bright move there by not having him try I think it would have been a 72-yarder, which Bates obviously can hit it. But right there at the end of the game, maybe giving him a chance at the record book. Dan Campbell said, let's take some knees. But Jerry Jones, probably not the best birthday. You could see it if you saw some of the interviews after the game on his face. He was less than happy. He was less than happy in a big, bad way. So, yes, Jerry Jones' 82nd birthday was probably a little sour. He might have had a few extra whiskey sours since I know he enjoys those. All right, we're going to get a whole lot of this in the next probably week or so, whether it's from me, other YouTubers, other national media reporters, or whoever. But get ready for it. Lions trade pitch nets $94 million pass rusher to replace Aidan Hutchinson at Lions Sports. You're going to say, what is this all about? They're proposing, and I don't see this happening, but I'm just reporting what is out there from Athlon Sports. Lions get Max Crosby and a 2025 fifth-round pick. Raiders would get the Lions 2025 first-round pick, 2025 fourth-round pick, which I thought they traded. Maybe I'm wrong there. I thought they already traded that. 2026 second-round pick, James Houston, Malcolm Rodriguez. And we'll go into the James Houston situation because I only got like 2 hours sleep last night. I spent up all night talking to different people, either with boots on the ground in Texas or people that I trusted to have some honest opinions on things. A couple different medical trainers in the NFL level that what could be looking at as far as recovery process for Aidan Hutchinson, any kind of news and updates. I don't see the Lions getting rid of Malcolm Rodriguez. I could see in this situation, maybe they say we're all in and trying to get somebody. I don't think it's going to be Max Crosby. And if you can get Crosby for first, fourth, and a second, I might do it, but I don't see that happening. What say you guys? Again, this is not me reporting that one. This is Athlon Sports, but I figured I'd throw it out there because, again, we're probably all in for it for a week, maybe the next month. Now that Hutchinson is hurt, there's going to be more and more speculative stories or whatever, and we'll see if any of them hold water. Again, part of being a journalist, you report the news, so that is part of the news. All right, probably why everybody is here this morning. Let's go ahead and get over to the main topic of the day. And yes, I am trying to speed through this stuff a little bit faster because I get everybody wants it. All right, so I was up to I don't know, even know, man, probably like 2:30, almost 3 o'clock in the morning working on this stuff. But all right, from what I'm told, and this, this isn't. If some of you guys are old enough to watch, remember Seinfeld. This isn't. Hey, you got people sitting there watching the surgery live, and somebody drops a juju mint into Aidan Hutchinson. But surgery apparently went well. Ended just before 11 p.m. local time. It is not anticipated. We'll underline this. It is not anticipated to be career ending. This is per a report I got from somebody there in Dallas, not in the hospital, but I'm going to trust them when they said it. Hardware was put into the injured area to create stabilization. So the break was pretty significant, I'm told. If you watch the replays, you probably got confirmation from that from about 50 million different people who replayed the video on their stuff or whatever. Hardware was put in. I don't know the type of hardware. I don't know if screws were put in. I don't know any of that jazz. I just got that stuff was put in. No weight. He can have no weight on the affected area for the next 6 to 8 weeks. They're really pushing for a longer time frame to allow the bone and the hardware to help firm it up and correct. And yes, I'm reading all this as I go through here. 7 to 8 weeks, a stability boot will be placed on the affected area. 12 to 15 weeks is expected, and this is coming from medical staff who weren't there, but trainers at the NFL level. 12 to 15 weeks, more lightweight will be allowed to be placed on the area. The bone will fully be healed and strengthened in roughly 5 to 6 months. Cardio weight bearing, so running, jogging, things of that stuff. You're going to have to edge yourself up and you're slowly inch your way forward, not all at once. Bearing in 7 to 8 months. 8 to 10 months could, and they sent this with about 50 lines under the could be a return to the team. So is it possible he could play next year? Absolutely. Could it be somewhat limited? Yes, that's also true. Again, I want to reiterate this to anybody watching. This is all speculative at this point. What we can confirm is the surgery reportedly went well. It did end before 11 p.m. local time, so it was a little bit of a lengthy process. I can confirm hardware was put into the affected area. And, this is not my area of forte. If Phil's in the comment section, he can probably speak more eloquently about it than I can, or anybody who's in the medical profession. It's just not my wheelhouse, guys. Let's see, next will be the test, will be the leg's ability to handle the load and torque put on the lower leg. So we talked about it when James Houston's injury happened. We talked about in the preseason when he got out there. We were just rewatching the film, and even this year, you can still see where he's favoring that affected leg or the lower area. Now, the difference, in my opinion, between Hutchinson and Houston is significant. Houston has to be effective as a pass rusher, he really has to dip. And you heard me talk about it. He's one of the rarest human beings out there. The fact that he can get that low, bend sideways, and keep stability in that lower leg while getting to the quarterback. Since the injury, he has not been able to do that nearly as much. You could even say, even watching more and more film on him, he's put on some weight. Is that because he couldn't really move so much for a while? It is possible. And I'm not here to talk about James Houston. So that will be one of the bigger things facing Aidan Hutchinson. Now, the good aspect of that is Aidan Hutchinson, for the most part, isn't a real dipper guy. He gets low, he bends and everything, but nowhere to the degree that James Houston did in his rookie year. Hutchinson uses a combination of strength, upper body, lower body. He uses it all. We'll put it that way. But he's not trying to get parallel to the ground while dipping past a offensive lineman to get there. All right, so test of the leg's ability to handle the load and torque putting on the lower leg. The bones are expected to heal properly and be stronger than prior to the break. So it's one of the old things. If you've ever been a coach or an athletic trainer or involved in sports or just general life, a lot of times people say it's better to just break the ankle than to have a high ankle sprain because the recovery process is typically faster with a break than it is with a high ankle sprain or anything like that. Obviously, this is an ankle sprain. But when he is fully healthy, months and months from now, that leg will actually be stronger than what it was originally. I don't have any kind of update whatsoever if there was any kind of nerve issue or muscle issue as far as loss of ability with those. That we're probably not going to get, I'm going to guess, till maybe at best later today. I don't really think the Lions medical staff are going to reveal that information. And so whether it's me or somebody else, they're probably all, I mean, who knows? Maybe somebody knows somebody who's got something. But my guess is since they got him in and under the knife after getting scans of the affected area so quickly, that probably a real good chance there was not much injury there or any kind of loss of that stuff. And sorry, guys, I know I'm not at my best this morning. I'm pretty dang tired, and I haven't had a Mountain Dew. So I'm doing the best I can, guys. All right, so now the bad news. I even hate bringing this one up. Though the word from everyone there is they're not, nobody's 100% sure other than the medical physicians who first reported to Aidan Hutchinson when he arrived at the facilities. And I'm sure people, that first I got him on the bus or whatever to get him out of there may know this. But the one thing that I got from multiple different people is they're worried that there may have been a skin break there. Now, you may say, why is that important? Because if there is a break along with the type of injury sustained, there's a much higher degree of infection into that area. Not just the skin, but the muscle, the bones, etc. The only thing I can say is, and I'll just add this up here, if there's a break, like I said, a higher degree of infections, sort of like you saw with, I can't even remember his name right now. I just remember his last name, Smith, the former quarterback who was there for Kansas City before Patrick Mahomes. I think he played for the Washington Commanders towards the end of his career. But anyways, that's what happened to his leg. Infections set in. They had to remove a lot of the leg in order to save most of the leg. So it doesn't sound like that happened with Aidan Hutchinson. The only thing I can say is if there was a break and a massive loss of blood, I think we would have seen it, especially to a large degree, considering the Lions were wearing a white uniform. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe those uniforms are fluid resistant where you can't see it from the other side. But I'm going to guess some of it would have got out there. Plus, you would have seen probably a much more expedited departure of Aidan Hutchinson. If that was the case, they probably would have got him out there much faster than they did. But I get they also need to stabilize the affected area and everything in the air cast, which we talked about this all last night. We talked about it on the live cast as it was happening. But there is the good and the bad. I guess the good news is it sounds like he's not going to have a career-ending injury. He can return, it sounds like, in an ideal situation. So not a good, not an over-the-top situation, not a bad situation, but probably in about, 8 to 10 months, he's back on the field to some degree. And it's way too early in all this process to say, yes, he's going to be totally fine or whatever, or what level of degree he'll be able to return at that time. It's all going to be a waiting game for that. The bad news is, he's out for the year. And I don't think I'm probably telling you guys anything you don't already know. The other bad news is if there was a breakage of the skin and any kind of infection did set in, yeah, he's in for a little bit of a bigger road for recovery. All right, guys, we've got about 10 minutes until we have a guest coming in to talk about all this. So let's get over to the Dew Crew. I'm guessing this will be a lightning rod morning for everybody. Hey, kudos to the Detroit Lions. They looked great yesterday. I also get everybody wants an update. I'm getting you guys this stuff as much as I can. I did put out a lot of feelers this morning around 6 a.m. To a couple people that may have more information. If they chime in, I am putting the phone right here in front so I can get it over to you guys as fast as possible. But as of right now, just to reiterate, it sounds like the procedure went well. Hardware was put in to stabilize both affected bones. We'll see where it goes from there. All right, let me scroll to the top of the screen and get over to you guys. And everybody, give me a second here, man. I'm trying to get to the top. There's a lot of comments here, so I see that the comment section is alive and well this morning. All right, Michael D. Great salutations, Coach and Dew Crew. Bittersweet victory, but have to move on from this. The Vikings will be waiting for us. Thoughts and prayers for Aidan. Hope he can come back from this next year. 100%. And the good part is it sounds like everything has gone well so far. But again, we should have more confirmation, later today or tomorrow. My anticipation is normally we don't get a presser today from MCDC. My guess is we will get something from the Detroit Lions today just to update all involved. See, Jason, bittersweet victory for sure. The Vikings game should be interesting. Superdome or bust, 100%. And I'll talk about it tomorrow. How you move on from Aidan Hutchinson. What do you do if you're Aaron Glenn? I've already been working on that stuff, but I'm going to get that to you guys tomorrow. Bo, good morning, Dew Crew. I'm at loss. I still see Super Bowl. Woo! And good morning to you too, my friend. Shavir, prayers for our little brother Hutch. Yes, and thoughts and prayers that it's an expedited healing process. Who knows, man? Maybe he's got some Wolverine in his genetic coding and he can heal up pretty fast. See, JDC, morning all, back at you. Lions Talk Live fan, I called 45-16 yesterday. Woo! You had a pretty good call, man. Pretty good call. Jason, he is literally the heartbeat of the defense and the entire team. He is, man. And you know what? He'll get through this. I'm going to think positive on all these factors. All right, Bo, I had flashbacks to Joe Theismann. Yeah, the good thing is, and I get we all felt the same way when we saw it. The good thing is the medical science has come so far in 40 years since smoking Joe Theismann's injury, the leg break, and everything that happened on the field. The fact that they were also able to get him opened up and working on it literally within an hour, I'm going to guess, and again, it's not my area of expertise, but my guess is there's a much higher degree they were able to provide immediate stabilization to the bones and help with the healing process. Plus, the hardware they now use to typically stabilize bones and help with that healing process. As long as the bones weren't completely shattered or they had to rebuild them, I'm guessing he's on the right side of this thing. But again, that's my speculation. I don't have any confirmation in that regard. See, Hookadoo, good morning, all. I'm in shock. I hope it's not as bad as it looks. My prayers are with him and his family, 100% there. And yes, I did hear that the Hutchinson family were departing or did depart yesterday for Texas. Thank you. All right, Clark, I hope all the news is good. The team looked awesome yesterday. Praying for Hutch, 100%. Keep those prayers going for him, man. Jameer, let's get this Super Bowl for Hutch. We love you, little bro, 100% with that. Yeah, and I do think, and we talked about this yesterday during the live cast, and I may have talked about it during the post-game show, but this is, to me, somebody who's covered the team for 30-plus years. This reminded me a lot of Reggie Brown. This reminded me a lot of Mike Utley. Not to those degrees. I mean, it's not going to be a career ender or a paralyzing agent for either of them. But Reggie Brown, when he was laying there, I think for like 2 minutes dead on the field or whatever it was, don't hold me that. 30 years ago, I don't remember it all. But, having to cover that at the Silverdome and just be like, whatever I am, like 30 yards away from it, watching them working on him while the commercial was going and stuff, bringing him back to life. Mike Utley, obviously that was a rallying moment for the team and just, his life. It does sound like Hutchinson isn't facing that. So that's good. He should, from everything I'm getting, as long as there is no infection set in, nothing unforeseen with the surgery that we don't yet know about, it sounds like he will make a recovery. This won't be a career ender, but it is going to be basically a year's worth of work. But the other part of it, I know I mentioned this yesterday, the NFL, not the Detroit Lions, but the NFL are going to invest a lot in Aidan Hutchinson because let's face it, he is one of the faces of the NFL currently. He is one of the younger stars. They want him out there. The team wants him out there. He's going to get the best medical care of anybody on the planet. I mean, he'd be up there with like a presidential candidate or something like that, getting medical care, or world leader, I guess I should just say. So he'll have everything out there. I think I'm going to think positive. I think he's going to make a full recovery. Eddie, great salutations. We are winning the Super Bowl this year for Hutch. Rally time. I like the way you're thinking there. Jason, Brad Holmes will be opening up his checkbook now. Who is available? Let's see. That might be a good segment for tomorrow's show. I'm guessing you're going to have 50 billion people in print media or YouTube talking about that today. And again, I'm not going there yet. I'm going to focus on just the news of the day currently. Johnny L., I'm sick over the prayers with him, his family, and the Lions family, 100%. But the good part is you heard like Monty talk about it yesterday. You heard Dan Campbell. I was going to have that queued up for you guys, but it got lost in translation trying to get everything else. You heard everybody talk about it. All their thoughts are on it, but they also know they have to do the mission and keep going forward. You got, your mind's on Hutch, everything there, but you also can't play timid or lax on the field, or now you risk getting hurt. Trey, Jason, I think he has to now. Yeah, go get somebody. Got to keep this show going. Time to go out and add something. Davenport and Hutch now gone. Ends are depleted, and that is the other part. This is two of your two starting ends are already out for the season, and you're in week 5 of the Lions season. It's a long road ahead. They're going to have two totally new ends come against the Minnesota Vikings. Who that's going to be, I'm guessing one of them is going to be Pascal. The other side, I don't know. I guess we'll Scooby-Doo that throughout the week. Jameer, what do you got? Time to take the Vikings down. This team is going to really come together. And Brad, I trust. I agree with that. I think this will be something to really propel the team forward. Moonscar, good morning. Duke Crew starting lineup. Exclamation point. Curious to see if Hutchinson's injury will influence Brad Holmes into making a move. My guess is yes. And again, that's my guess. Doesn't have to be your guess, but my guess is this expedites some sort of thing before the trade deadline from the Detroit Lions front office. Hookadoo. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Exclamation point. Roar for Hutch Detroit. Yes, keep him in your thoughts and prayers, my friend. Good morning to you, Hookadoo. Tori reminds me of when Green went down for the Rams and Warner had to step up, next man up. Yeah, and Trent Green was the starting quarterback for those who maybe don't remember. For the Rams, went down preseason with knee injury. Kurt Warner came up and became a Hall of Famer. John, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. As much as we love football, when something like this happens, the game just doesn't seem important. Prayers for Hutchinson. 100% there. Yeah, at the end of the day, it is just a game. See, John, that's a fact, says Johnny L. Don Berth, I was at Dallas AT&T Arena, and all I can say is Detroit fans took that place over. Yes, yeah, you could hear it, man. They were chanting all for the Lions throughout the game. You could hear it throughout the broadcast. And, the Lions fans are traveling pretty well. Michael, got to say, holding Dallas to 3 points, a quarter, and 0 in the fourth quarter was amazing to watch. Let's go, Lions. Yeah, I can't wait to rewatch the game and do some coaching stuff, X and O stuff, watching that all shake out. But, I was working on this story throughout most of the night. Bo, great podcast by Pride Detroit. He talked about possible trades and what Brad Holmes has done. The trend is your friend. I agree with that always. Trend is always your friend. Don Hookadoo, don't let rainy days nor Mondays get you down. You are blessed to be here, and we are going to ride for Hutch. 100%. Rally around the moment. See, Dennis, good morning, Dan and the Dew. Prayers for Hutch. I like the way you're thinking, and yes, send those prayers. Jess, green sanitations. Man, I couldn't sleep. That shook me. It did, man. I get a lot of Lions fans, and I know a number of you reached out to me last night. Sorry I didn't respond. Just, trying to actually spend a little time with Jen, trying to work on the story, get her to sleep. And then, like I said, I stayed up to like 2:30 or 3 in the morning, whatever it was. Johnny L, now we take it out on the league. Yeah, I like that. I like that point. As a coach, that's where I'd be going with it. Hookadoo, Amen, Don Burr, JDC, bring on the Vikings. You're going to get them in about 6 days. France, good day, all. Coach, you spoke on this yesterday. This could be the galvanizing force for the team to really push them to another level. Yeah, I agree. Keep everybody laser focused. And yeah, I think that's what will ultimately end up happening. Let's see, Hatman, good cold freaking morning, Dan and the Dew Crew. I hear that when we made the Super Bowl, Hutch might just be able to play. I saw somebody put that out somewhere while I was working on stuff. And I would say this, man, I could be completely wrong with this, but I think there's a 0% chance he gets out there. You're talking if what everything I got for people is correct, he's not even full weight bearing or cardio or anything for about 8 months or whatever it is. I don't remember everything off the top of my head. I had to look at my notes, but I just don't see that happening. Maybe he could dress for it, but I don't think you're putting him on the field. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, like I said, maybe he's Wolverine. Let's see, Don Bird 97 all day. I agree with that. See, Dennis, time to rally around Hutch? Yes, indeed. Dennis, 97. That might be the rally thing. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Hey, I just wanted to give a shout out to Coach for handling everything the way he did yesterday. People take shots at him at times, but all I know is he had all of the information. And a lot of that's just, people you get to know over the course of your life and stuff. And thankful for all of them for assisting with that stuff. See, Manberry, how did Dan O'Rue do in the Scooby-Doo crew? Oh, yeah. Also, prayers for Hutch. I agree with that. 78 live. What's this? Live on air an hour before anyone at NBC or ESPN. Thank you for all you do, Coach. No worries, guys. I enjoy this. I loved being a reporter and a journalist for decades. It's just, as you guys probably know, when newspapers stopped being so relevant, I had to find new work and employment. And but I still enjoy doing this stuff a ton, man. I love all my different jobs and careers. But I also can say I really passionately enjoyed being a journalist and a reporter. See, Frank Tank, great win by the Detroit Lions yesterday. Yes, we lost the best player on defense, Hutch. There's going to be a lot more injuries on this team. It's a long season. This is just the beginning. Go Lions. Yeah, every team, everybody's going to get them. And the Lions, they've had quite a few already, even though I get nationally we don't get any kind of thought on that, I guess. Manberg prayers. Hookadoo, I was wearing my Hutch jersey last night. I'm going to frame it for my Lions Den One Pride. Yeah, not a bad idea there, my friend. Don, Frank the Tank, we're not putting that negative energy into the atmosphere. You can keep that over your way, okay? Let's see, Bo, JJ Watt. I know somebody sent me a video last night saying that Lions were going to sign JJ Watt. He hasn't played in 2 years. Is it possible? Sure. Do I think they're going to add him? Probably not. But, I've been wrong before, so maybe they do. Maybe they do. All right, couple more here, then we'll get over to our special guest of the day, and that will be Hutch Jr. Pam, your team is having a good day when the best field position specialist in the NFL doesn't even get an opportunity to show off his skills. Laughing out loud, Jack Fox. Yeah, man, he just got to sit and eat nachos, I think, on the sideline. He had a pretty good day. I think we should send him a Mountain Dew. AJ, respect, coach. You are right on that. 71 watch Sunday Night Football. And they mentioned everything Dan said about an hour after his postgame show. Hey, you know what? Broken clocks right twice a day. Every once in a while, I get something right too. Keep on trucking, says JDC. Go Lions. Dennis, yep. Frank the Tank. Listen, man, I'm not negative, dude. I believe in this team, and the season's not over, but I think you took it wrong. Yeah. Injuries happen. You got to overcome them. I think that's where we're going with that, Frank the Tank. Johnny L., who is going to take his place? We'll find out. We'll find out come Sunday. Let's see, Miles Marker, victory morning, all. But what a price, hoping Hutch comes home soon. I think so, too. And I don't have an update when he'll be leaving Dallas. My guess is probably the next 72 hours. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get over to our special guest of the day. You guys all know him. You've seen him before, and that's going to be Hutch Jr. Mike, how you doing today? You're muted.
There we go.
Hey, there we go. All right.
I'm good, guys. How about you?
One heck of a victory for the Detroit Lions yesterday, but obviously, at least today and last night, the headlines are all going to be mostly about Aidan Hutchinson and his unfortunate injury. So let's just get that out of the way right away. Where does the team move on from here? How do they use this, as an ability to try to rally the team? If you're the coach, if you're MCDC, what are you doing when you report back with your team on Tuesday?
Yeah, I think I was kind of shocked at seeing the team play the way they did after the Hutch injury. I think they kind of played for him, and I think that's what this team knows they're going to do. I think I've seen it just throughout everyone. Terrion's posted some things, Kirby's posted some things. They're talking about, hey, we're going to win the Super Bowl for you this year. So I think they'll play for Hutch, but obviously, to me, if you're Brad Holmes, I mean, you just lost your best D end. You just lost one of the best DNs in the league. So you definitely, to me, I mean, Brad Holmes has always preached we're going to build through the draft and, we're going to use our guys. But I just don't know if our guys, our Aidan Hutchinson, can produce that much of a level, So, yeah, I think the guys are going to rally around this. Obviously it's devastating. You could see, I mean, even on the Dallas sideline, shout out to Dallas for the great sportsmanship yesterday, man. You could just see it. It shocked the whole arena. I mean, Dak Prescott had the same injury, if I remember right, in 2015 or something like that. He had a compound fracture. So you just hope these guys, hopefully they don't think too much of it, losing their best player in the locker. It's not just on the field either. It's going to be a locker room presence. So these guys might just be, playing for him and feed off the momentum. It sucks because you got a big game next week with Minnesota for the division. So it came at a worse time, man, and it sucks because I don't think I enjoyed the game after it. Like, I was so hyped before everything was going, and then the Hutch injury happened. I was just like, man, it just sucked the life out of the game for me.
Yeah, and it's the tough part whenever something like this happens and any kind of sporting level when somebody gets hurt, and especially one of your bigger star players, either for the team or the league. But you still got to go forward. They've only played 5 games in your season. It stinks. But who do you think if they stay internal, they don't acquire anybody, who do you think takes over that role as the other end? My guess is Pascal's on one side, but who's going to replace Hutchinson?
I think they'll probably use Isaac Ukwu. He was in the game a lot last night, but then I think they're just going to activate James Houston and hope to God he can reminisce some pass rushing ability. He was obviously inactive last night. So I think that would be, your internals. But to me, Pascal's look good, but obviously he's been improving, but he's not, he's not great. He's not a Hutch type player.
Right.
And, McNeil had a great game last night. So it's just hard for me, man, because I feel like, we got depth, but we don't have that game record that we need. Isaac Uku is still a rookie. He's still learning. He had some pressures, but he didn't get home last night. So to me, I think it would be Uku and James Houston, Pascal on one side again. But man, you're just not down Hutch. You're now down Davenport. You're down, some of these other guys. So you're down technically 2 DNs in 4 weeks. So it's a hard one to recover right now.
So last year, Houston obviously broke some bones in his lower leg, and he has not been the same since that. Could it be think that his body is still recovering from the break? I don't know where you tuned into the show, but I did talk to some people, last night, this morning, whatever you want to say, saying that, it's possible in the next 10 to 12 months, Aidan Hutchinson returns to the football field, but it's going to take time for him to get fully right. Do you think maybe James Houston, like you're saying, is one of the possibilities to step on in, but we haven't been seeing him much because that leg is still healing?
Yeah, that's always a possibility, right? Because we don't really know. Obviously we know it was the lower leg, but I've heard of people say when they break their tibia and fibia, like, yeah, they're healed, but they're not fully momentum moved, for another year after that because nerves and things like that. So I'm wondering too, maybe if it's just in the back of his head, because I think he's had, if I'm not mistaken, he injured his leg and he was injured the year before. So maybe he just in his head, he's like, hey, man, dude, if I put too much pressure on this, or if I bend this way a certain way, am I going to break my leg again? So maybe he's playing with a little doubt in his mind. And, no one knows but the Lions how, he's got to be in some kind of football wear shape, for being on the field. But, yeah, it could always be in the back of his mind that he's just saying, hey, man, I don't want to break my leg again, because if I break my leg, I might not ever play football again. And that's the scary part with those tibia fibia fractures. Some of those are season ending. Thank God Hutch isn't. So it was just scary when I didn't even see the live on national television. I didn't even see it. I thought maybe he got poked in the eye or something. The way he went down and took his glove off and then thought it was his hand. And then when I seen his lips say it's broke, I was like, oh, here we go. So.
Yeah, when I was doing the live cast yesterday, I saw his foot plant and then bend. So I just thought, man, he sprained it. I was hoping it wasn't anything that shot up to the knee. To be honest, it wasn't until the full replay where I saw what happened with him, basically slamming into Lee McNeil's leg, and then obviously the break. But let's move on from some Debbie Downer stuff, because I get it. This team still got a season. They still played great yesterday. What can you say are some of the positives you took out of yesterday's win?
Our defense was locked down. I was very shocked at the way we manhandled the Cowboys in every aspect of the game. I think that was the most dominating Lions victory I think I've seen since I've been a Lions fan when I came out of my mother's womb. They just dominated them. And then Brian Branch, thank you for the 32 teams that passed on him, because you guys gave us a hell of a player. That play to come off Tolbert down in there in the red zone, where he was guarding him in the slot or the flat, and then he breaks off and picks the ball in the end zone. Not many DBs are making that play. You got to trust your instincts, and he trusted it. Yeah, and then outside of that, man, our offense, everyone was talking 4 weeks ago that our offense is going to struggle and we're not going to be back. And we got Ben Johnson running hook and laterals to offensive linemen in games. That's disrespectful. Ben Johnson was in his bag last night, and it's scary for teams. And that's why, to me personally, I was talking about it last night on a Twitter space with Dallas Cowboy fans. I feel like this team is Super Bowl capable. Our offense is a Super Bowl caliber offense. And I think, to me, that's why you go out and make a huge trade. You make a splash because of where this team is. And if you make a nice splash, you don't have to rush Hutchinson back as fast. So, but yeah, our defense played well. Terrion played well, had that big fourth down stop, no flags. So, hey, that's a huge improvement. But yeah, Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch are probably the best safety duo in the league. Gibbs and Montgomery, best running back safety or running back duo in the league. It's a good time to be a Lions fan, guys. We just got to enjoy the wave.
So Brian Branch, had 3 total turnovers yesterday between the picks and the forced fumble. It did seem like the Lions, their secondary, including the linebackers, have it would appear they've been clearly working on the peanut punch, trying to displace the ball from people, and they came through with it in a big way. Let's talk about the offense, though, because while the defense played great, the offense didn't do too bad either. What do you make if you're a defensive coordinator? How do you slow down this Lions offense? Because they got a lot of weapons.
I don't know if you can. And you've seen it right when you saw it, right? Because we were running the ball at first, and then Dallas starts stacking the box.
Yeah.
And then, they start getting, they get home on Jared Goff on a couple blitzes. And then you see just, okay, hey, well, if you're going to blitz us, watch what we do here. And they run a flea flicker, just wide open, just run it. And then, they get down in the red zone, and just when you think they're going to pound the ball with Montgomery, they run a hook and lateral to Penei Sewell. And then, then they're throwing back shoulder fades to Taylor Decker on the 5-yard line. I think Tom Brady even announced it last night. He's like, Ben Johnson's got to be careful because I don't know if he's got any more trick plays in his playbook. But, I mean, this guy is he's unreal. This offense is unreal. I think, this is back-to-back games now. We scored 40 points. We were just talking, like I said, we were talking about it 3 weeks ago. We were the bottom tier of the league. But, yeah, good luck stopping them. I just think Ben Johnson has so many different variations of how he can line up. He's rocking 12 personnel. Then he'll bring – I think at one point he had David Montgomery – in a 3-point stance. He was playing fullback. So it's like Ben Johnson. I give Ben Johnson credit. We got to be thankful for what we have because he might be gone next year with a head coaching job, him and Aaron Glenn. But yeah, I don't know where you can stop these guys, man. You're going to have to, it's almost like you just have to guess and hope you guess right, because if you don't, you're going to get burnt. And you saw it with J-Mo burning Diggs, man, so.
So talk about Jamison Williams real quick. A lot of speculation about him. I remember even this time last year, some people, including a few of us in the Duke crew, were saying, "Man, this kid may be a bust or whatever." I try to remind people, hey, he's a young kid. He didn't really have a rookie year. Last year was his rookie year. Now, what do you see with him, and how big of an impact do you think he still has, as far as development?
It's just amazing to me that Lions fans gave up on him, and we've had Charles Rogers in our fan base. We had Charles Rogers as a player, and, who, to me, Charles Rogers was probably almost the same player as Jamison Williams with speed and things like that, had a great college career. But J-Mo, man, it just shows what happens when a team, values a guy. He spends time, he works, and now you're seeing it, man. To me, the epitome of the whole J-Mo situation. Right on, you throw him a crossing route or a post route in the middle of the field, he drops it, it's wide open, he would have been gone for a touchdown. Immediately the next play, you've seen Jared Goff go right back to J-Mo to get him back on. And that to me just tells how far that J-Mo's came, him and Goff and this team, and then the belief of J-Mo. And that just goes to show you he's our true number 2 wide receiver. You don't go back to that guy if you don't think that. And you just seen it. He made that play, and then, of course, he had a touchdown taken away, but he scored a touchdown when he burnt Diggs. So, yeah, no, J-Mo just – I think I was watching the Shannon Sharp thing last night, and they were talking about it. J-Mo's one of those receivers that he puts fear in defenses. You have to guard him, and you cannot play press man coverage on this guy, because if you press and you miss him, it's an automatic touchdown. It's Jared Goff's going to dump it over the top, and it's going to be a touchdown. And even if you're on him, he's going to break it for 60, 70 yards. So, yeah, J-Mo he's 101, man. And that's why Brad Holmes traded up for him, because they believe this is what he could do, and he's starting to prove it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's our leading receiver, right? Because, I think St. Brown had some catches, but J-Mo's, his big catches are 15, 20 yards at a pop. So I think J-Mo's our leading receiver right now, which is crazy.
So, we talked about a little bit at the start of the show, Tim Patrick, how this guy just seems every week to be getting better and better as he gets more acclimated to the offense, and Goff and him get some kind of connectivity. How big of an impact, or an addition, I should say, is this having him? And then maybe even talk about Allen Robinson, because he did get some play time yesterday too.
Yeah, Tim Patrick is, to me, probably the steal of the whole NFL right now. People wanted to re-sign Josh Reynolds, and I don't know if people know the Josh Reynolds situations, but, we offered him a contract, and he didn't want to take that contract at that time, and then came back to the Lions after we released Cam Sutton, wanted more money, and Brad Holmes was like, nah, man, you know what? Go test free agency. We'll figure it out. Well, in that behold, now you get Tim Patrick at a way cheaper price, who's producing just like Josh Reynolds, and he's not even full. Like I felt so bad because I wanted him to get that touchdown last night. Like he deserves it. He's been balling out. And then
Game of inches.
Game of inches, yeah. And then Allen Robinson's a nice piece too. I think, and you could see the confidence that Dan Campbell has in Allen Robinson and Tim Patrick. They're dressed every week. And I think we're going to start seeing Allen Robinson come in a little bit more. I think he might be still getting acquainted with the playbook a little bit, because you could see like he came in with Hendon Hooker, and they threw him the ball a couple times. But yeah, just nothing yet. But Allen Robinson and Tim Patrick, if those guys get going, this offense is just going to get more and more dangerous, because now it's like, who do you guard? You pick your poison. Like, okay, I'm going to guard St. Brown, but then I'm just going to get killed by Tim Patrick or J-Mo or Allen Robinson, which, Tim Patrick is just, people forget he's not old. He's 30, and he came off 800 to 1,000 yard receivings 4 years ago. I mean, 2 of these years he had Achilles injuries. So it's just been a stud performance by him, and it's a hell of a pickup over at Holmes. I was pretty hyped when we signed him, and I'm glad we did, because, like I said it last night, why do you need Josh Reynolds at $9 million when you got Tim Patrick for half the price and producing the same way?
Right, and he's a big target too, man. You can see when he gets out there and blocking, he displaces a whole lot of secondary guys. All right, so Lions offensive line, Dallas couldn't get to Goff unless they really sent 7 guys and just overloaded the line, and then even then they were on the risk. You send that many after Goff, you're leaving everybody in isolated one-on-one coverage. Goff gets that ball off, you're going to pay. How big of a growth have you seen from week 1 to what we saw last night with this offensive line?
I think, it's a huge difference. I mean, week 1, I was talking about it with a lot of people. It was Russ, man. You could tell, like, we didn't play anybody in the preseason. And then, I thought personally when I was at the games, like, you could just see Goff trying to stare down his receivers. He wanted to get people going at certain points. And, he was just trying to fit the ball in crazy places. And then now you just see it, like, now he just spreads the ball around. Laporte is getting targets. We got Gibbs running out in the slot, running streaks. We got J-Mo catching balls. We got Tim Patrick. We got, whatever else we're running. So it's just, I told people to relax, let the offense get going, let them get some plays under the belt. They'll be fine. And, here we are back-to-back weeks, 40-point games, coming in now playing Minnesota off a bye. So we'll see, big game for us, obviously, to make our statement in the NFC North. But, yeah, I just think this offense, I didn't think it could get better from last year, but it's definitely gotten better.
All right, so before I let you get out of here, let's talk about real quick the Minnesota Vikings matchup, because it's obviously going to be, if not the premier matchup next week, it's going to be in the top 3. Vikings coming in, like you said, off a bye. Lions relatively healthy, I'm assuming, other than Aidan Hutchinson's injury. What are your thoughts going into this week? What do Lions need to do to stop the Vikings to really pull out a win next week?
Yeah, I think if they play defense the way they did, I think they'll be fine. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different. They're going to have to get to Sam Darnold, make some mistakes. You saw in the last game when he played in London, he didn't throw a touchdown pass. Obviously, I think Jared Goff has to be excellent. Minnesota lives off defensive turnovers, and that's how they beat you. So Jared, if I'm Ben Johnson and I'm those guys, I think you test their front 7 early. You run the ball, see what they're going to do. But yeah, Goff just has to play his game. Just take what's there and don't try to force it deep. But I'm interested to see what's going to happen, because Darnold, obviously last game he wasn't great, but he won him the game. He did manageable things. So you just got to get to Darnold. You got to just play our game. Don't try to take kill shots when they're not there. But yeah, like you said, it's a premier matchup. I was talking to my brother last night. I thought they were going to flex the game, but I don't think they can, because it's already made. But right. I wouldn't mind seeing it flex to a 425 or Sunday night, football, just because of, the relevancy of the game. But yeah, we're going to have to take what the, Minnesota Vikings give us, and then go from there. So I'm excited about the game. Just wish Hutch was there. That's going to be suck.
It is what it is. I mean, it stinks anytime a player gets injured, but yeah, definitely one of your star players going down, someone as galvanizing, and who's from Michigan on top of that, went to the University of Michigan. So there's just a lot of connective tissues there with him. All right, why don't you go ahead and give yourself a shout out to everybody where to find you, hear your work, all that type of stuff. And thanks again for always being on the show, man.
Oh yeah, no, thank you for having me. Obviously, you can catch me on here, man. Thanks again, Dan, for always having me. You can see me on Twitter at the only one in Hutch Jr. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. You can also find me on Catch My Vibe Radio, based out of Jackson, Michigan. And then you can always find me on Twitter, with spaces and things like that. We do our own thing over there too. So again, Dan, thanks for having me on, man. Thanks for doing what you guys do. If I get any more news from anywhere, I'll let you guys know too. But I did see something possibly, and this came out of 97.1 ticket that, from Hutch's camp, that he could be back by the Super Bowl if the Lions make it. So a little hopeful news, but we'll see,
We'll see, man. We'll see. Hey, like I said earlier in the show before you got him, maybe he's got some Wolverine in his DNA and he can help heal him up a little quick.
Frank Ragnow healed him.
Maybe he's got some Ragnow in his DNA.
That's crazy to me, man.
So you might not be wrong there. All right. We'll catch you on the next one, and thanks for being on the show this morning, man.
Thank you again, guys. Have a good day.
See you, Hutch Jr.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the Duke crew in the comments section. We've got about 9 minutes to go. Motown Mitch, good to see you, man. It feels like it's been a minute. Dang Don Burr, if I knew he was in my neck of the woods, would have hooked you up, man. No worries there. Lions fan, let's see, praying for him, 100% there. Trump's JJ Watt is a beast. Sign him. Yeah, I wonder if he would come out of retirement. And is he in football shape? All that stuff. I guess we'll wait and see what happens in the next couple weeks. Southwest, he gone for the year? He is, man. He's probably done for the year, but you never know. I mean, I guess Super Bowl's in February? Is it? Yeah, late February. Is it possible to be back that fast? Anything's possible, I guess. Trump's, no way does Hutch play till next year. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But stranger things, I guess. Thomas, Myles Garrett is definitely an option. That's one thing I was paying attention to, who won and who lost yesterday. I was really hoping the Bengals would lose another game. That didn't happen. But, maybe they still look to offload. Cleveland, though, I think you've got to be looking at a complete rebuild there. Maybe they do start selling off some of their parts. Jerry, maybe you're right. Maybe you get Watt and Aaron Donald out of retirement. Yeah, I wonder. I don't know the details of Donald's contract, but, man, if you get him, I'd go after that in a heartbeat. Maybe, hey, why not get Ndamukong Suh to come out while we're at it? Miles, Jane Doe, that's great to hear. 100% there. 100%. Trump's Watt is in shape to play. I hope so. Let's see. Aaron, prayers for Hutchinson and family. Agreed with that. That was Margaret Morning Jr. Morning Jr. Let's see. Chad said Max Crosby. Yes, go after him. Let's see if they do. See, Chad signed Max Crosby. I knew we were going with that. Yeah, see if you can trade for him and get him. T-Bones, the Hutch injury is reminiscent of Ed McCaffrey's injury. Yeah, that's a great call. Very similar to that. See, Trump's assign any stud DE. Yeah, you got to find one to sign. That'll be, the thing there. Chad, the drop-off from Hutch, the backup, is like the 2024 Tigers to 2003 Tigers. Maybe that's not a bad analogy. John, your insider said tibia fib. Good thing they were wrong. Yeah, and I don't know the complete breaks of it, but for doing all that on the spot on the scene, the fact that they had most of the information, maybe not 100%, but 99% right, I think they did a pretty good job. Henry, good morning, Duke Crew Coach. Everything happens for a reason. Maybe we'll now get a Hutch quality and maybe he'll heal up fast and still be an impact player. Yeah, I think from everything I'm getting, it's still going to be, he's going to be fine. Career is going to be okay in time, but it's going to take him a little time to obviously heal up from that significant injury. Trump's, they use a rope to stick to twisted and my ankle on the side of the road to keep me from bleeding out. Snapped mine off at the ankle. Yeah, hopefully you're okay, man, and that's a significant injury. Southwest, if you see what you do, think Brad, see he a master of building. We have money and we owners know to make a move. I'm not even worried about that part. I'm just praying for his recovery. Yeah, 100% there, man. We'll see what they do in time. Obviously, all that's going to be revealed in time, but right now, just hoping that Hutchinson has a strong recovery. Broski, shut out Aidan Hutchinson. I hope this isn't a career ender for him. Yeah, it sounds like it's not, man. It sounds like from everything I got late last night, this morning, the surgery went well and no issues, but all that's going to have to be corroborated. The bone has to heal, but so does the nerves and veins. Yeah, the nerves, just for those this part, I do know something about the nerves can take up to like 6 months to fully recover, or longer in some cases. But it does sound like they got him in there pretty quickly. So I'm inclined to believe that any kind of real long-term injury to the nerves, muscles, etc., were probably very, very mitigated as long as there was no infection. See, Dominic, good morning from Texas. Back at you, Dominic. Hopefully you're a great one. Southwest Hutch didn't nowhere near career ending on we'll be back at the end of next season. That's what I got all last night, is that it sounds like the surgeries went well. Now we just need to get full details to come out in time. Trump, not scary when you're a millionaire, but if you have to continue working construction, it sucks. Yeah, I bet it did, man, 100%. Chad, what's Porsche doing these days? Yeah, Robert Porsche, maybe we can bring him back. DMC, J, okay. Broski, Southwest, his lower left leg was just swinging back and forth. He'll miss the season and most likely next season. From what I'm getting, Broski, it sounds like he should be back next season. Obviously, he might have to be eased in the season, but we'll wait and see, man. We'll wait and see. It sounds, everything I'm getting, it sounds as positive as it could be so far. Again, based on the information I received this morning or late last night, whatever you want to say. Southwest, he's going to talk about it. This just happened with the best defensive end in football. He was first in everything after a bye week, but I love the blitz package. AG got in his bag heavy after Hutch went down. Loved it. Yeah, and we'll talk about all the different scenarios that now with Aaron Glenn and the defense as we go forward later this week. See, he's out for the season. He'll be fully loaded by August when he's supposed to be, and don't have to worry about it. So keep your negative hopes in yourself, because it's only missing the season. Yeah, I think he'll be back next year. Phil, good morning. Back at you, Phil. Let's see, Dennis, good morning, Phil. JDC, compartmentalize and keep on trucking. Yeah, every team's going to face challenges in the NFL season. Now you got to overcome it. See, Phil, Dennis, all balls, no. Good morning, Duke Crew. See, Southwest, we demolished the Cowboys and Minnesota next. That defense went crazy for Hutch, and AG really aggressive on them blitzes packages. He sent kills the Cowboys. Yeah, I got to imagine one of the possibilities will be more from a schematic standpoint to try to replace Hutchinson. You might not have a Hutchinson player, but it doesn't mean you can't put other guys in different situations with blitz packages, stunts, pulls, or whatever to try to get pressures on the quarterback. Hookadoo, Anthony, what up, brother? We'll find out. Let's see, D13. I haven't seen you in a minute, man. The intro is far too long. It happens, man. It happens. All right, Dennis, good morning, Ant. Let's see, Fred, I love that they went back to it on that play and gave JMO every chance on the same play, the very next play. Yeah, when he dropped the one, and then the very next play went right back to him. We talked about that in the live cast. I thought it was a great move by Ben Johnson, because you don't want him sitting around thinking about it. Let him emotionally move on. And see, Southwest, that's going to add another level and a different punch to the defense. Yeah, the different punch to the defense. They were taking that ball away. They were going after it, man. They were being aggressive after it. See, all balls, morning, brother. Hookadoo was going to hunting, but it's pouring out. Yeah, it is. I see it's raining here, too. See, Trump's agreed. Hookadoo, same here. It's been raining all night. Broski, where's Anthony been? He's in the chat right now. He's here right now. See, D13. The long intro allows those of us who don't get who get advertisements to still see the beginning of the live stream. Yeah, that's the other part of it. Not everybody does the YouTube package where you don't have to see the ads. From what I get from you guys, most of you guys do see the ads, so this way you don't miss anything at the jump of the start of it. Well, hooked on the feeling last night, 100%. Southwest, we're going to crush our division. It's time to expose the imposters. Get ready to get your butts kicked. You're on a different level. We're not these plays teams. They're stacking early cheap wins. Might be, but yeah, like you're saying, just go beat them down now. All balls, we're going to see a Crosby watch something going to happen. It's a question of who. Well, we'll see what the Lions do. Phil, most fun I've had watching game in a long time. Dan is a great reporter. Hey, glad you guys enjoy it, man. I enjoy doing that stuff with you guys as far as the play-by-play and everything. Brent, loved it when they went right back to JMO after the play. Yeah, shows trust. Yeah, and keep him developing, especially mentally. Phil, that's not unusual, Trump. Okay. Oh, hold on. Something happened with the screen here. Everything jumped around. Hold on. Andrew, if you were in the Silver Dome for Reggie Brown's injury, then you look very good for your age. Yeah, I'm 52, just so you know. So way back in the day. Let's see, Hookadoo, seeing that out of business sign at AT&T Stadium just gives you a warm feeling. Yeah, hooked on a feeling. Miles Margaret, thanks, Mike, 100%. Bo, appreciate you, Hutch Jr. Yeah, Jr. does a good job, man. Brent Branch should get Defensive Player of the Week. Oh, yeah. I mean, heck, man, you get 3 turnovers in a game and all your tackles. Yeah, pretty good game for him. Hookadoo, have a great day, Hutch Jr. Indeed, balls, definitely prayers for Hutch. I agree with that. Everybody should be throwing a prayer out his way. Kurt had to do some chores this morning before our show starts. What I miss? Hey, you can always watch the replay, my friend. See, Hookadoo, we going after that Michigan man in Vegas game ready. Let's see if that transpires. Josh Dan Campbell had an outrageous special charisma he does have contagious special charisma that just transcends. He's one of a kind! Exclamation point. When he is on the sidelines with Glenn, that took that look of emotion on Glenn's face. Yeah, you could see it hit everybody, and it hit him hard. See, all balls. Aleem is whose knee hit on. Yeah. And once it hit, man, you just see it go. Jeremy, all grit. We turned up all the ends and the dynasty. Hungry. What up, Dill? One pride. I'll go with that. Good morning, my friend. Phil, when the leg is flopping free like that, it sure looked like a tibia fibula. If one bone is still intact, it wouldn't flop. Yeah, and you guys have to keep in mind, when a lot of these people were giving me the information live as it happened, it's not like they're sitting right there with an x-ray machine. They're all doing what they can to get as much information as possible. And the fact that they were willing to share it with me so I can get it to you guys, I mean, a lot of thanks for them. I'll have to send them all some good stock tips. All right, Broski, I can't see any kind of Anthony's comments. He's here. Yeah, he's going by his I want to say his fancy football team's name. See, Josh continued. I wasn't happiness about a shutout or 5 turns. He was had that emotion because Dan was proud of him. It was special. It was 100%. I agree with that. Dimitri, 97 prayers, strong heart. Yes, all the above. See, all balls, a spiral fracture, both tibia fibula in both legs. I know the pain and recovery for his injury. Yeah, and I know we talked about that a little bit last night, man. Hopefully he makes a full recovery quickly. Hey, Vapor, a woo for Hutch. You know, that's not a bad idea. 1, 2, 3. One for Hutch. All right, Brosi, if Aidan makes it back next season, that would be amazing. Best wishes to the young man. 100%. Yeah, at this point, it's about him, the individual, the human being, not necessarily the football player. Phil, Lions have a superior medical staff. Yeah, and like I know we mentioned it yesterday, the NFL will be involved in it. I mean, I have pretty good idea. They even flew in some people. Whether or not they got there last night, probably land there today to give him specialized attention from some of the best people in the business or in the industry to help him recover from that injury. Max 77, wasn't there a lot of players out for the Cowboys? It was. I wouldn't be that confident. We need to trade for a very good defense and take the North. Yeah, I think you're right. Do everything you can, put yourself in a good position. Don Broski Bear, how's that Tim Patrick guy looking? He was a bad signing, you wrote. Yeah, well, he's looking pretty good now. Let's see. All balls, 8 weeks. I was walking without a crutch. That's about what the time frame they were saying is that no weight bearing. I want to say I'd have to go back to the notes, but 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. Drums, I bet when Aidan pushes the nurse button, they come running, probably. Kurt, see you guys soon. Yeah, see you guys in just a minute on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast. Bo, happy trails, Duke crew. See y'all later. We'll see you soon there, Bo. Phil, hopefully there wasn't much damage to the surrounding tissues. Yes, and that's the part I haven't heard anything about. See, Trump's my... All right, sorry, guys. I hit the mic there for a second. My advice to Aidan is to get off the pain meds as soon as possible. They really aren't good. I'll go with that. All balls. Tim Patrick seems to put to bed all those haters. Yeah, and I think somebody once said David Montgomery, watching him run was like watching somebody run with a piano on his back. I think was a Broski quote too. But I'd say that piano is running people over. Shout Anthony for blocking me. Someone tell Anthony he better not be running on his bets with me. Okay. Downbird Lions offense looked great, and the Patrick signing looks like it's paying off. It does. Dre Forge rocks, Andy Rolls, JDC, T-Bones, knowing that Hutch has a positive outlook, I don't think Brad Holmes should abandon his vision for the team by sending a Crosby type. We'll see what they do. Super Bowl for 97. Woo! I'll go with that. Trump's All balls. It's a living hell. Been there multiple times. Yeah, and thoughts and prayers for both of you guys. All right, couple more, then I got to get out of here. JDC, Detroit Lions rebuilding since 57. Stay tuned to Coach Dan and Lions Talk Live for more updates. Go Lions. Thanks for that, man. Trumps, I prayed last night that the Lord would ease Aidan's pain and suffering. Yeah, and given his conditioning, his age, I'm thinking these will help in his healing process. Steve Davis got kicked in the head. I hope he's okay. Yeah, I didn't see an update on that. Hopefully he is okay. Josh, I tongue twisted the guy every time, I bet. Yeah, it happens, man. It happens. Dimitri, it was the tib and fib. Yeah, okay. Let's see. All balls. Broski misses Anthony. Maybe a little bit. All balls. Well, I don't miss you kick rocks. Fair enough. All balls. You don't have 2 bets with him. All right. Need to make sure he sticks around so he can pay me. There we go. See, Courtney, Dallas, UT Southwest as a top 50 ortho. Yeah, from a surgical assistant. Yes, correct. Yeah, so he's in a pretty good spot there. Hutchinson, that is. All right, I don't know about any losers, but real men are always confident. Who cares who they had out? We got our own injuries to worry about. That was their problem. Our offense destroyed them. Yeah, you mentioned other teams' injuries, but don't forget ours. Every team's got injuries, and we've got a ton of guys on the IR. Let's see, Thomas, I was at the game yesterday. Dak took a shot early in the game. After that, I'm wondering if we rattled him. One heck of a win. You should have seen and heard Cowgirls fans rooting for the Lions. Hey, I'm down with that, man. And yeah, I agree. I thought that Dak Prescott looked rattled most of the day. All balls. I'm not going anywhere. Fair enough. Moonscar Blade, Broski Bear, all balls is Anthony. This is true. Phil, this team will win it all for Hutch. There you go. Broski Bear, all balls, no D. This is Anthony. Why didn't you say so? Stop being sneaky. All right. Southwest Minnesota is going to get destroyed next. Their office is nowhere near ours. Yes, their offense is nowhere near ours. Shaft, can you believe the Jags scored so many points against the Bears? When the worst team in the league scores that many points on you, you're not good. Fair enough. See, all balls, get the heck out of here, Broski Bear. Nobody's anywhere. Okay, a couple more here, maybe from people we haven't seen. Let's see. Michael D, happy Thursday, y'all. Coach, thanks for all you do. Anytime, my friends. David, speedy recovery. Hutch, and last one, everyone who knows but you. Yes, everyone knows in the chat who he is. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. If there is some breaking news later today, and I'll get it to you guys as quick as possible. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Be kind to each other. Hit that thumbs up and like button. Do something nice for somebody you don't know. See you on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.